Thank you. Okay. Hello. Hi, everyone. This is a new thing. Yeah, I'm not fucking doing that. So, I'm tired, but I've been meaning to record some DDO stuff for a while. But this is very spur of the moment, because I completely fucking forgot that I was supposed to actually record stuff for our next life until she inadvertently reminded me, because Deathy, or Death Sun, for anyone who's actually watching and knows who that is. Shout out to that guy, by the way. Please follow his Twitch or whatever the fuck. He's actually a
Dude,
pretty
he's the best.
he's a pretty chill guy. He's so great. He's literally just good guy, good player. Please follow him. I think it's Death's Son, like Deathsson. I want to say it's one word too, but he usually goes by Deathy or something. So check out both, I guess, and see where you can find him. He's on Twitch. He's pretty cool. But yeah, so we were talking about him. Stupid Mike, stay in the spot. So we were talking about him, and then that reminded me. So now we're doing this because I meant to, and then I forgot while we were reincarnating. For those of you that actually know what that is. For those of you that don't worry about it. Hi, welcome to DDO. I don't know why you're watching this if you don't know what that is, because uh, this is probably not the place you should start, but it's looking like it's gonna be. So I did want to start with just choosing what the character is. I really thought that would be a good place to start because anybody who is watching this, if for whatever reason this is your first time, either playing the game or just watching anything of ours, like let's say a year from now we've got a bunch of DDO gameplay up, maybe it would be a good place to look back on and just see this is how he, she, they go about figuring out what exactly they're going to do. This is Olorii, by the way. Say hi. That didn't come through at all.
It didn't?
No,
Hi.
it just kind of sounded like you just you're like a
Oh,
breath or
weird.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, hello.
it does that sometimes. Just so y'all recognize the voice. This is my duo partner. We play video games together, specifically DDO. She literally plays a fucking bear half the time. We did the math. We did the
Literally half the
math.
time.
She literally plays bear half the time.
Although if I don't play it this life, it will be one less than half the time.
Yes, but if you do, it will be precisely half.
hmm
So, not that that's necessarily relevant, but at this point, we do play the game together, and so we try to build our characters with the other person in mind instead of just mindlessly picking something and just kind of happening to play the game together. We pick the characters fully knowing and intending that we will always have that other person there, at least the majority of the time. Sometimes one person's going to pike while the other one goes to the bathroom or gets a snack or just, I don't know, I'm tired or I'm going to go do something else for a minute. You got this one? Yeah, I'm good. Go take care of your shit. So that happens a lot. But like for the most part, especially on the harder stuff, we're both there and we've both got it handled together, usually. At least relatively. So we generally try to make characters considering that there's another person there. Whether this means that we can push a certain aspect farther or shore up a weakness that a certain character might have, or whatever the case is. So I think that's the biggest thing I want to get across is characters aren't always good at everything. But if you're not playing by yourself, and there's an MMO, so you probably shouldn't be, unless you're just the kind of person that likes soloing. But if that's the case, I don't know why you're watching this, because it's probably not going to help you. But hey, if you're the kind of person that's soloing R10, I don't think you're going to learn anything from me. So,
But you could teach us.
but if you are, and you're watching this for whatever reason, I hope you're having fun. I don't know. Please feel free to call me trash in the comments. I don't solo R10. I'd take a 0 off of that and then I'll solo it, but 1 and 10 are not the same thing. So we like to keep in mind what the other person is playing and try to play stuff that can work well with the other one, at least to a certain extent. Oftentimes this will mean that we'll want to have it to where at least one of us can heal and at least one of us can take a hit. Sometimes that ends up being the same person. It depends. Oh, excuse me. And a lot of the times, our conversations for figuring out what the fuck we're gonna play take absolutely forever. Just kind of depending on what it is. But now we're on camera, so we have to pick something. So, pick something.
I mean, I'm either favorite soul or bear.
That didn't help at all. That
Sure
was
it
that
does.
was two somethings.
Well, it depends on what you want to play.
I don't know what I want to play.
I had decided bear, but you're like, well, I kind of want to play something tanky.
It wasn't kind of want to. It was just you play too much bear. There was one
That's
time where you
much
played
bear.
3 bears in a row.
I see nothing wrong with this.
There's so much wrong with that. Chat, you don't
Disagree.
understand. She will literally send me bear memes. Literally, like, just cuz, with no context whatsoever.
So?
See? Bear logic. Bear see nothing wrong with bear. For bear is bear. Well, we've kind of already went over a lot of the stuff before we started recording, so if the conversation seems a little off to you guys, don't really mind it. You might be missing some context or some gaps on something. It's not super important. But if you play Favored Soul, I guess that's a good chance to do the strike through Vanguard. Paladin's probably unnecessary, because honestly, I could tank and heal on that. I could at least be self-sufficient, and you could just sit back and, like, literally not care, because I could
hmm
handle it.
I could just do the pew pew.
Yeah, you can do, like, whatever you want at that point. It's like, oh, they're attacking? Whatever. Fighter can't heal itself, so maybe Fighter, but I don't know. I'd figure you'd be doing the nuker one, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know. I mean, if you've got all the AoE covered with the explosions, maybe Strike Through Vanguard's a little unnecessary if you're bombing the whole battlefield. And maybe I should focus on something that's a little bit better with the bosses. Does that mean... Wait, does that mean I do... Does that mean I do Vistani Knife Fighter? Because it's better at
Stunning knife fighter squared.
Vistani Knife Fighter squared. Does that mean I do Vistani Kensai Fighter? Because I could be seriously good at shredding through bosses while technically tanking them, albeit not necessarily like to the same degree. Like I wouldn't be a tank, but like I could take hits well enough for practical purposes, especially with a healer behind me. While you nuke all the ads, my contribution will be, well, when the boss shows up, I'm going to shank him a lot, so that'll probably be useful. Funny thing is the nuker favored soul is so good for so much of the game that it's almost like completely irrelevant what I play, because you literally just throw out like a flame strike and everything's dead. And it's like, alright, well, that was neat. Why am I here again?
To watch the fireworks.
Basically. Didn't we do that one time? Didn't we do... Or was it fighter favored soul or no, I thought it was a barbarian favored soul. Was it
I
no,
don't
it was
remember.
barbarian cleric and fighter favored soul, I think. Didn't we do that before?
Something like that. I don't remember.
I guess I could do that again. Hmm. And that would give me a chance to use that wave of despair I got, which I did really want to use. And I did want to try out the new Greater Shield Mastery feat. And Perfect Shield Mastery. Thinking. What about Tactics? because I'd like to shore up my tankiness with the heavy armor mastery line. Then I don't know if I have room for the tactics if I'm getting the Kensai stuff. And going into Vanguard too. For all that deeps. Do I want to play Vanguard right now? I'm gonna kinda do. But I can also get a lot of double strike out of Vistani Knife Fighter. By the way, if anybody's still here for whatever reason, this first video is not going to be very entertaining. This is literally just going to be us figuring out what the hell we're doing.
Yeah, pretty
And then
much.
going through actually building that character so you can see how I go about thinking about building the character themselves, not just what we play. A lot of this first one is going to be seeing the thought process behind a lot of things, not the actual execution of them themselves. That way when you see the gameplay later and you see a lot of the choices later, it'll give you a better frame of reference rather than just, oh, I'm just picking that because it's good, right? The man said it's good, and then he did the good after. It's like, no, like, there's a reason. And this should hopefully help give some better idea to it. I do kind of want to play my funny joke warlock build. Not that I think that would be the most effective, but haha, different damage numbers look nice.
Yeah,
That's probably
it would
not
be fun.
that's probably not a good idea though.
Probably not.
Probably not. Ugh, the Abyss Pact is so painful too, cuz like dealing negative damage with your pact is so rough because because undead heal from negative and it does jack shit against like most constructs. I think like steel defenders and their variants are like the only ones that it actually works on, or at least against some of them for some reason, while all other constructs like the sentry drones and the iron golems and stuff it just doesn't do anything against, which is super annoying. So with that being such a big portion of your damage, that's a little rough. I say as I thoroughly enjoyed playing Pale Matt, but my Lich Illusionist was a lot of fun. But still, he did a lot of negative damage and that was a bother, but I guess I still had enough universal spell power that I could throw out like fireballs or chain lightnings or something and get away with it. And it was still enough to function. I guess you could make the same argument for the Warlock, but like, I don't know. It's already somewhat of a joke as it is. Using, for those of you that don't know what the build would be, because why would you know? It would be using Tainted Scholar, Enlightened Spirit, and either the Abyss or Carceri packs. The Abyss pact because it'd be really funny to do light damage and negative damage at the same time. Literally, that's it. That's the reason. Or Carceri to fit the cold theme and use a cerulean wave effect, probably on the like Crown of Snow or whatever it's called from Feywild, at least as the earliest available item for it, and probably for a long time because I don't know if I'd ever manage to use the cerulean wave. What do you call the trident
The
from White Plume Mountain?
staff with it.
Yeah, that one. I forget what it's
I don't remember what
called.
it's called.
Yeah, there's Black Razor, Whelm, Wave. That's what it is. I think. Probably. I don't think I'd ever actually end up using Wave just because I like it, but ugh, staves. So hard to use for casters. Just 2 sticks is almost always better. But yeah, I'd probably just use that Feywild hat for Cerulean Wave, which would make all of your Eldritch Blasts, fun fact, all of your Eldritch Blasts have a chance to freeze enemies. No save, they just kind of get frozen, which is super cool and useful. See, punny. But on theme for the ice, I'd go Carceri and pick up Burst of Glacial Wrath and say fuck it to other crowd control like Hold Mass and Evards and stuff like that and just go, nah, I'm just gonna freeze people. Sort of have a bit of a theme to that. But I don't necessarily think that's like the best. The cold one I think has a little bit more viability because at least on bosses you have the advantage of Carceri cold dots. So that can help you do a little something on them. And against mobs, you can, worst case scenario, throw out a burst of glacial wrath and just tell the rest of your team to go get them. So you've at least got that going for you later on. What was I thinking? Oh, right. But for the cold one, I think waiting for Magus of the Eclipse with the Destiny changes is probably a better idea. Yeah, I guess there's like cold, new primal avatar, Heart of Ice or whatever. Yeah, there's that too, but I'm partial to Magus of the Eclipse. It sounds cooler. And also, I think there's supposed to be a Warlock Destiny Lynn's working on, so that might be useful too.
Yeah, that's supposed to be sometime soon.
I'm not even gonna bring up the All Force Wizard either. Just, just no, not yet. Though I will say, the new Draconic Incarnation does make Ruin better by making it do additional damage based on the dragon type you chose. So maybe instead of going all force, you could go like force negative or something? Ooh, wait, is that just a straight buff to Lich Illusionist? Well, shit, there went the all force wizard idea option. Though I guess you could play Archmage Pale Master or something. That could still work. Might even be better than Archmage Fate Arc Illusionist. Either which way. All of that's a big ol' bunch of a side note. What do you think? Do you got any preferences on what I do?
Um, Not really sure. I mean, you've listed several things now.
I have plenty. Actually, I listed a lot like before we started recording too.
Yeah, so it's hard to keep track.
Okay, well, to make it easy, Strike Through Vanguard, Death Knight, Stick Rogue.
Right, Death Knight. That did sound cool. You mentioned a tanky Death Knight.
That's an option. And single weapon fighting Pally. I think those are probably the four to look at right now. That's what me thinks. So I think we're going to hold off on the Warlock for the Destiny changes. You could make the argument that with our current play rate, we're probably not going to get to epics until those changes come out anyways, so it might be a moot point to say, I'll wait to play it till the Destinies change, because they'll probably be changed by the time we get there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's a moot point. So let's throw in the Warlock as a technical option. Maybe call it an honorable mention, maybe, because the argument against it might not be super relevant. Aside from it's a little bit of a joke, but I don't think it would be an unplayable or non-contributing joke. It's more of just I know full well there's a better way to play Warlock option, not this one does not contribute option.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Death Knight sounds really cool.
Tanky Death Knight?
Yeah, just to see you play it. But I don't know. As for actual preferences, kind of whatever you want to play.
Well, one of those is more helpful than the other. If you actually do want to see me do the Death Knight, it would be almost a shame to play that with, like, if I do the tankier version, that'd almost be a bit of a shame to do it with Bear, because the Bear is probably tanking stuff anyways, so
Yeah, I would do Favorite Soul.
it shouldn't matter as much. Well, that's the other thing too, is with the Favored Soul, it seems like a bit of a defeated purpose to play a character that can self-heal with negative energy, comboed with a Favored Soul who is a full caster for divine healing. It'd be
I mean,
one.
if you'd be self-sufficient enough with your healing, I don't think it really matters.
Well, no, I mean, it feels like it would be a waste on what I could play, because I could play something that wouldn't be self-sufficient, because you would be
Oh,
there to.
I see.
Yeah, because you would back me up with your healing. It's not about my healing on me not helping, it's about it being a squandered opportunity on playing something that wouldn't have its own healing. And if anything, um, it's also a bit of a missed opportunity on your part, because you could also play a Warforged that either can't heal itself or doesn't do it as well, because as a wizard I would get repair spells and I could just throw repairs at you.
That's true. And I do want to play one soon.
Because I'd be using most of my mana for buffs, not really spell slinging, so I would have the better part of my mana bar for repairs anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to play that whenever. Is it Artificer Tree that I need? Whenever that
Um,
comes out. Or class.
that is whenever it comes out. No,
Well, whenever it's on sale.
whenever, yeah, you get around to getting it.
Comes out to be on sale.
I mean, you don't have to play Artificer to play Warforged.
That's what I want to do it with,
And
though.
as a side note, Artificers do get the repair spells,
Yeah.
but still, it is one where like I could still also heal you or something.
Hmm. Although a Bear Forge would be pretty funny.
That would be a thing. Because remember, we already looked into this. Like, you count as a fleshy in bear form,
Yeah.
not as a toaster strudel. But yeah, I was kind of waiting to play the Death Knight for you to play a Warforged, and it seemed like Artificer was the one you were going to do it. Because I think that would go better together, because you could easily just play one that isn't. Either you could play one that isn't going to be the tank between the two of us, and I could play a tankier version of the Death Knight, and then
Hmm.
still be able to heal you if slash when you can't heal yourself. Or you could play the one that would be tanking. I would play one that has less defense and maybe tries to squeeze out more damage, and then heal you as backup.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that one, in a roundabout way, could sort of work either way. Either I have just enough self-sufficiency to deal with whatever chip damage I take here and there while you actually tank, or I'm just straight up the tank and I can handle myself, and then if you get hit, I can still throw some heals on you.
Yeah, makes sense. You could play Paladin. That's another option. You talk about how much you like Paladin and
I
then
do like Paladin.
haven't really played one at all.
I've played Paladin before.
I know, but a couple times. Like it's not something you play frequently.
I've played 2 or 3 with you.
That would be a couple times.
I mean, it's more times than I've played Druid.
You haven't played Druid.
Yeah, well, that's more.
Less than I've played Druid.
Well, I've played everything less than you've played Druid.
Ha!
At least since you've started playing. Not before then. Not before
Have you
then.
ever played a Druid?
Nope. And at this point, I am not doing it purely out of spite.
What about when you need to do your past life feats?
Oh, I
Or
won't.
your past life You're not gonna do Druid?
Nope. I'm just never gonna have completionist.
You don't want to do two bears? You know how much I'd like playing two
That's
bears?
exactly why now I am not doing it.
Fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah, boy. Dude, you know what would do a lot of damage?
Two bears?
No. Well, yes, but no. You know what would do a lot of single target damage? This dude
Two
literally
wolf
just fell
druids?
asleep. Well, yes, but no. Vistani Knife Fighter Wolf. Isn't the Vistani Knife Fighter capstone like better anyways than the Wolf cap? What the fuck is Nature Warrior capstone
Probably.
anyways? Isn't that like not even good or
Isn't it
anything.
something I normally don't even take? Like
No, I'm
the couple times I played Wolf, I don't know
haven't.
if I even took it.
Didn't you play Wolf like once?
Yeah, and
And
then I think my alt was
isn't
a Wolf
isn't
once.
that the time that you didn't even really stick with it either?
Yeah,
Didn't you play
I didn't really
Wolf?
like it.
I'm pretty sure the only time you've really tried to play Wolf with me was when it was literally the first time we played together, and I was on a Tempest Ranger, and you were on a Wolf, and we were just like, huh, we both kind of like backstabbing, and neither one of us is the tankiest, at least
Yeah, I think I
for
did end up changing.
what we could do back then. So you transitioned to Bear, I think.
Yeah, yeah, we were at like level. I don't even remember.
It doesn't really
It wasn't
matter
super high.
either which way. Do I? I don't think I even have Druid. Yeah, I don't even have Druid. Can I even get Druid? If I could get Druid, I would. I don't even have the points for Druid. I was literally about to say, if I could get Druid, I'd like play a Wolf like right now. I'd fucking do it. I'd play Dagger Wolf literally right now. I was gonna do it, but I don't have the points. So,
Unfortunate.
I'm not. By the way, if anybody saw my name in the DDO store, please do not roll back on the video and look at that and try to hack me or something. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I actually would have. I would have dead ass played Vistani Wolf. Dude, I stan the Vistani Knife Fighter tree. I have gotten to love that thing so much more to the point where I'm just like, yo, but what if we added Vistani to this build? What if we just took this build that exists and has been proven to be viable and then just made it a Vistani instead? Dude, Vistani's good, okay? But see, I would totally do the Death Knight, but like I'm trying to be efficient with lives, you know?
Hmm. Looks like it gives you 2 strength and wisdom, plus 10% double strike, and plus 10 PRR. And then reduces the cast time penalty.
Oh wait, Warrior Capstone?
Yeah.
Okay, say it again while I'm actually listening.
So reduces your cast time
Yeah, I don't care about
penalty.
that. It's not.
And then plus 2 strength and wisdom,
Okay,
plus
so it's a
10%
little bit
double
useful.
strike, plus 10 PRR.
Huh. I don't actually not care about the cast time reduction. It's good for like regenerate, and I guess technically Snowslide is probably affected by it too. So it's not like it's not useful or anything, but
Yeah.
you
Dude,
know.
Snowslide's fun.
Snowslide is actually really good, and honestly, I'm gonna just straight up say it. I think Snowslide might actually be like Wolf's saving grace. Is once you hit 17, it's stupid good, and then until then, it's like, well, I really hope someone else has aggro, and I can just kind of backbite. Because that sneak attack is so good with your attack speed.
Hmm.
I would totally unironically do Death Knight. That would be a really cool introduction to this too. But you don't have fucking Artificer, and I don't think you're gonna play a Warforged on something else, are you?
Uh, Warforged favored soul?
I mean, I guess you technically could, but what's the advantage?
That I'm playing a
That
Warforged.
sounds like a disadvantage when you're a favored soul and you heal with positive energy, not with mechanical energy. Not really a fixer-upper. No, I mean the point would be like if I'm gonna play someone who can heal you but only with repair, then it would be really useful. Maybe not really useful, but I would be really useful to you if you played a Warforged that couldn't heal themselves. Like if you did something like Warforged Fighter, though you're probably melee at that point, so
Uh-huh.
maybe I shouldn't play the tankier version, I guess, but whatever. Like if you played some kind of Warforged, then it would be useful because I could heal you if you otherwise couldn't or something. Not that you couldn't play a Warforged and be able to heal yourself, like that's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying you could play one that couldn't and you wouldn't have to worry about it because I could.
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you even have
I don't know
Warforged?
what I would. Yeah. Yeah, that's one that comes with the VIP thing.
Are there any good like ranged Warforged builds that like aren't artificers or something and can't heal themselves? Ooh, you know what you could
I don't
do?
know, but I don't.
You know what you could do that's like, okay, so I'm gonna hit you with a left field idea. Warforged Kensai Inquisitive.
I don't have. Do I have Inquisitive? I don't know if I have
Oh wait, I
Inquisitive
think I
tree.
saw your universal tree thing in the store. I don't think you actually have Inquisitive. Wait, what? Hold on. Did you ever turn in the favor from Sharn? Because you get it from favor. Just go talk
Oh,
to
I
the
probably
mayor.
do have it then.
Did you ever turn in all of the favor? Like after we did Sharn Part 1, Sharn Part 2, and Cogs, did you ever talk to the mayor and get the last favor
Pretty sure I have.
bonus?
I'm logging back in to check now.
Because if
Let's
that's
see.
the case, you have Inquisitive. Because that's how I got it. I just did the thing.
Yeah, I should have it then.
You got to make sure you turned it in. Because if you only talk to
But I
him,
don't know if I want to play a ranged thing.
not right now.
No.
Because I know you did mention doing it eventually.
Yeah, I have Inquisitive.
Well, if you don't want to play range, there goes that idea. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was thinking. I mean, mostly I was thinking the bear, but
Well,
I'd
yeah.
be willing to. Like I've been really wanting to play a Favored Soul too.
Well, I mean, you could totally do that. I could just be like generic tanky boy or something, and just be large and in charge.
Is that actually what you want to be doing though?
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. I was almost kind of starting to like the idea of Vistani Wolf. I don't know Druid, so
Yeah, it makes it hard.
because I totally would have like been like, you know what, fuck it, fine, I'll play a Druid, but I'm doing it my way.
How many
Screw
points is it?
everybody else. Let me show you how to play Druid. You thought you all knew how to play Wolf? Nah, son. Let me, ya boys, showing you how Druid's done. Let me give it to you. Hmm. I guess I don't even need. Is Warrior Core 5 any good? Or do I just need 17 Druid for Snowslide? Because I would like Snowslide. That's pretty cool. So I'm going for the Vistani capstone, because I don't... I mean, I could go for the Warrior capstone, but I don't know. Vistani capstone seems decent. Oh, but then I have to go Tier 5 Vistani. And Tier 5 Vistani is good, but I don't actually like using it. I say as I've never used it. Don't judge. But the Warrior Tier 5 has more attack speed, which is like most of what it has, but it's attack speed. I don't know. Maybe I should just be lame and do my original idea of just pick up a stick, be a rogue, and call it a day.
Another stick rogue.
What do you mean
I feel like
another?
you just played that recently, didn't you?
I've only done it once.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Literally only done it once. I've played
Huh.
Rogue multiple times, but I've only done it
Maybe
once.
that's just what I'm thinking of.
I played Vistani Knife Fighter Assassin. I played Harper Mechanic. And I played Stick Assassin. And then I guess the last character I played is technically a rogue. 12 rogue, 6 ranger, 2 arty inquisitive. But, you know, at various levels I had investment in some combination of assassin or mechanic to different degrees. And I technically have more rogue levels than anything else. And not by just a tiny bit, where I'm like a 8-6-6 split or something. 8 rogue,
Mm-hmm.
6 ranger, 6 arty or something weird like that. Like I'm very clearly more rogue than anything, but still, like that build was honestly an inquisitive that just so happened to use rogue, ranger, and arty for various feats, enhancement trees, and passives. But it was really honestly an inquisitive at the end of the day. Let's be real here. Especially considering my investment in Deepwood Stalker, Assassin, and Mechanic would vary a lot depending on level and frankly just what I felt like. God, there's so many different splits for how to do that, and they're all so good in their own way.
What did you say the combo was? The ranged inquisitive thing? I wanted to at least look at it.
The one I just did was Rogue 12, Ranger 6, Artificer 2.
Is that what you were suggesting for me?
With the Warforge, the ranged Warforge?
Yeah.
No, mine was a simple fighter inquisitive.
No, I'm saying what were you suggesting for me though?
Like what to play?
For the Warforged.
That's what
I want to at least look at it.
fighter inquisitive.
Oh, okay.
Simple, straightforward. Hey, just get damage, get ranged power, get more damage, get law on your side, and then just shoot stuff. And like that's the character. Super straightforward, super simple. Probably not the strongest version, but it absolutely will work. You probably go intelligence based and use Harper Agent to get intelligence to hit and damage and grab know the angles. Yeah, I know, intelligence based fighter, don't ask. Because otherwise crossbows don't have a stat to damage on them. They just get dex to hit and that's it. So you could go dex based and get accuracy, but you don't have stat to damage.
Oh.
And I guess like you could go wisdom based and use falconry, but Harper Agent is better if that's all you're getting because then you get the trance in tier 2 as opposed to falconry, which gives you the trance in tier 4, which you don't really have the points for because you want to go into Kensai as well and scoop up at the very least tier 4 stuff just for some extra hit, some extra damage, and stuff like Strike at the Heart, which is super good on a high attack rate um, class build tree thing like Inquisitive, as well as just other various goodies like more action boosts, haste boost, which you can use as a backup to No Holds Barred, or if you need some level of damage bonus right now and you don't want to wait for the animation for No Holds Barred to start up, or even just get more uses of No Holds Barred, or something like that. And again, just more hit, more damage. It's just a straight up little thing. And Core 5 is super great because you can get 20 range power, which is just nice. So even if you go with the Inquisitive Capstone, which you honestly probably do, because I think on an Inquisitive, the Inquisitive Capstone is the best way to do it. If you are playing an Inquisitive, the Inquisitive Capstone is going to be the best for that character, I think, in virtually if not every case. So like you wouldn't even have to go pure fighter technically at that point. Like if you just want the 20 ranged power in core 5 and whatever else you can get on the way, like just some generic hit and damage, strike at the heart, more uses of no holds barred, stuff like that. You could just go like 18 fighter and then the last 2 levels could be like whatever you want really. Which at that point would probably be 2 artificer, wouldn't it? Huh, yeah. I guess 2 artificer, 18 fighter, inquisitive.
I
Yeah.
don't have Artificer though.
Yeah, playing an Inquisitive without 2 levels of Artificer just honestly seems, I don't want to say scuffed, but scuffed because, well, I did just say that Inquisitive Capstone is really the best way to play Inquisitive because it's so good. But then if you're getting the Capstone there, you're not getting the Capstone in another class. And 2 levels of Artificer lets you throw in a rune arm while dual wielding crossbows because it's weird, but it works and it's cool like that.
That is pretty cool.
Which gives you all of that extra rune arm imbue damage that scales with your ranged power and the imbues don't care about your artificer level, they just care about the quality and level of the rune arm itself, which you can equip regardless of how many artificer levels you have. As long as you have artificer 2 to use rune arms in the first place, you don't need artificer 15 to equip like the Mines of Tethiamar or the Sharn rune arms. You just need to be character level 15.
Oh, it makes sense. Okay.
So
I don't know. Should I try this?
since all that imbue damage from the rune arm scales with range power, you just get a lot of range power, which is another reason why I think 18 fighter has some viability if you don't want to mess around with um, sneak attack and fumbly wumbly multi-classing stuff. If you just want to play it pretty much straight, you just put the first 2 levels as artificer, be an intelligence build, go into Harper Agent to get intelligence to hit and damage and know the angles, max trapping skills, and then just go straight fighter and get passive feats for all of your ranged things. You get rapid reload for free from Artificer, and then with the rest of the stuff, you put in a little bit of dex, max intelligence, bingo bango, grab whatever con you can, get enough dex for the ranged feats, and then you just use all of your extra fighter bonus feats to scoop up all the ranged feats that you need, grab your point blank shots, grab your rapid shots, all that stuff. And then get the Kensai line of feats for like the weapon focuses and your weapon specializations. Scoop up all that extra damage with ranged weapons, scoop up all that extra ranged power, get your extra hit, get your extra damage, get the extra range power in Kensai Core 5. You could even, if you want to go all in on damage, you could even get the weapon focus line of feats for throwing weapons as well to scoop up upwards of 10 more ranged power. Technically, you could spend 5 feats for 10 ranged power. I don't know if you should, but if you wanted to play that split specifically and just max out your damage, technically that's probably best. I don't know if that's necessarily what you should do, but if you're like, yeah, fuck it, let's go, dude, you could do that. And then you just basically throw everything into weapon damage and ranged power, and then your law on your side and rune arm just happen to give you a whole bunch of extra damage, and you don't need to worry about ranges or anything. Yeah, sure, you can't use point blank shot from super far away, but you also don't have a ton of investment in caring about being in point blank shot range anyways, because you don't have ranger and rogue or anything else that's giving you a bunch of sneak attack. Sure, you can pick up sneak attack from your gear, but so can those rangers and rogues, so can those assassins, those mechanics, those deepwood stalkers that are going to get that sneak attack innately. They can also pick up that gear, so that's kind of a one-to-one, so it doesn't really matter. Not as a relative factor. So you don't care about being in point blank shot range as much, so you can snipe from further away, and you go, okay, but I don't care about the sneak attack. So you just don't build for it, and you build for straight up weapon damage, and then the only other 2 things you have built into the character that scale your damage, your law on your side and your rune arm abuse, don't care about being in PBS. You just land the shot, and they just scale with range power. So you just build for range power instead of building for sneak attack. And obviously weapon damage and range power. You sack the sneak attack and have a bigger focus on straight up weapon damage and more ranged power.
Okay.
And you can still get all the feats you need because you're a fighter and you get a bunch of extra feats. So you don't need, like, say, ranger levels to give you free feats. So you can get all the range feats you want and then some. You're 18 levels a fighter. You've got the extra feats for it. You're good. So that would be an option you could do if you wanted to play it straight. And it might be a little bit easier to get into, because if you're not used to playing ranged, or you don't pick it up very quickly, you might not be ready to make sure you're constantly in point blank shot and range sneak attack range, because that's just not a thing you're used to, right? Kind of like
Yeah.
in Overwatch playing Tracer. If you're not used to caring about being at that very specific range where you're as far as possible to not be in as liable of a position relative to the enemy, but as close as possible so you can still get basically being within your effective damage range, so you can still get all of your damage that you can instead of just, missing this big portion of it. Instead, by just not building for that range sneak attack in the first place, you don't have to worry about that because you just don't care.
Hmm.
Even if you get sneak attack gear, it's still such a smaller portion of your damage that you just kind of slash shrug and shoot them anyways. So it's not necessarily that it's a better version, it's that it's, from a practical gameplay perspective, it's a little bit more new player friendly if you're not ready to sort of distance dance yourself and constantly live a very specific space away from the enemy.
Yeah.
Of course, you can also just muzzle your crossbows down their throat like a shotgun and be in PBS range basically no matter what. So, there's also that as an option. Just go, yeah,
That's
fuck them.
probably not ideal.
I mean, maybe not, but, if you don't have aggro, you don't have aggro. But hey, if you want plus 1W, that's plus 1W. So you could do something really wonky like that. But if you don't have Artificer, I wouldn't try to make an Inquisitive if you don't have Artificer. Like
I mean,
honestly,
I could always just get it. I have enough points.
yeah. But if you just kind of grab it, then I figure you would probably play the Artificer that you've been meaning to play, which I'm pretty sure was the Dwarven War Axe one.
Yeah.
So this probably wouldn't even be the first one you do, anyways.
I mean, I would just get it for this to make it work.
I mean, you don't have to. I just think it's disappointing to play Inquisitive without 2 levels of Artificer because, well, then if you ever play Inquisitive with 2 levels of Artificer, you're going to be like, what the fuck was I doing? And if you ever come across any other Inquisitives, if they have 2 levels of Artificer, chances are they're probably just more effective than you.
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
even if those other 2 levels that they could have had in another class would have been big levels instead of small levels, really important ones, then they're probably still roughly equivalent. And if you're at a weird level where those other class levels they would have gotten were less important instead of more important breakpoint wise, then they're probably just straight up better. Probably. Hmm. Well, I don't know. If you're mostly thinking about just doing the Vistani Bear again or Nuker Favored Soul, then I guess I'm probably playing a Thick Boy, or I guess I can do a Backstabber. So does this
That'd
mostly...
be Stick Rogue?
Stick Rogue would probably be the Backstabber, and that would go more with Bear, not with Favored Soul.
Oh.
So I'm probably either doing Strike Through Vanguard or Stick Rogue. I could bring Barbarian up into this, but he would sort of serve in the same role as the Strike Through Vanguard would. But if you really want to do Bear again, I think maybe I'll just play Stick Rogue. And just have to live a sad and disappointing life
Oh.
as a trapper that
You'll
doesn't have
just.
auto search and isn't an intelligence build.
How will you ever
I
survive?
won't. I'm dead inside. Playing a trapper without auto search. That's the one downside of having now played an intelligence-based inquisitive. How will I
I
ever
mean, you don't
play?
have to play that.
How will I
You
ever
don't have
play
to
another?
trap.
Yeah, let me grab rogue and just not trap. Like, oh yeah, I know I'm a rogue, but I'm here literally just for damage. Traps? Nah, fam. Fuck them.
I mean, that's how I've lived my life.
Listen, traps are gay. I don't fuck with that shit.
Exactly. Wait,
That is
that
not.
sounds
That
offensive.
is not an argument we're getting into. That was a joke. We are. I ain't touching that one with a 10-foot quarterstaff. I mean, I would mention something like the paladin, the single weapon fighting paladin and the war chanter bard combo, but it looks like you're mostly looking at the bear and the favored soul, so that's kind of a moot point.
Yeah, those are the two things I wanted to play the most.
I mean, if you want to carry me, I'll be a total like meme lord and play all force wizard, and we'll be fucked.
Oh, I could play that iconic paladin though too.
But you were gonna play the bard in that combo, not me.
What?
In the paladin bard combo, that was you were the one who was gonna be the bard. I was gonna be the paladin.
No, I said the iconic Blade Forge because I had
Yes.
mentioned that earlier.
No, right, but like, okay, so I see what you're getting at with that. Yeah, but like you're still a paladin, so you're probably still fine. Lay on hands actually works perfectly fine on Warforged/Blade Forged
Yeah.
because it just heals twice on one on their healing amp and one on their repair amp side. So the net healing at the end of it is actually still good. In fact, I think if you have enough healing amp and repair amp, it might even be better, question mark? But I'm not sure about that. But either which way, it's still good because it like splits the healing up and then scales off of both, and you get repair amp from Warforged or Blade Forged, whatever, or you mitigate the healing amp penalty, and then you get healing amp from Paladin stuff. So like you still heal yourself perfectly fine. And Blade
Hmm.
Forged also get the repair spells added to the Paladin spell list. So if you go repair amp route, you have repair spells. If you go healing amp route, you're a paladin. You already have the healing spells. And if you go mixed, I guess you got both. So you're good regardless. So
I was just saying that's another potential option I could play.
I mean, we could be absolute chads and play paladin death knight and both heal each other for half effectiveness.
That sounds highly
Oh no,
ineffective.
wait, no. No, my repair on you wouldn't be half effective. Your positive healing on me would be half effective. My repair on you would still be fully effective. So I guess we could do that. That seems weird. I guess we technically could. Though I will say if you play the Blade Forged, you would have to make sure to forego the XP and not go to level
Yeah.
15 because I don't have an iconic and I'm not playing at
Yeah,
level
yeah, I
1 when
remember
you're
that
level
part.
15. So for those
I'm just
of
gonna
you that
sit back while you catch up.
don't know, iconics start at level 15. You'll notice I have no iconics unlocked. Don't at me. I'll get to that eventually. Not right now, but eventually. The Death Knight I've been referring to this whole time, by the way, is a wizard. It is a melee wizard, and it kicks ultimate ass. That's it. Using mostly Eldritch Knight, and then various levels, but at least some amount of Pale Master. That's kind of where the death part of the Death Knight comes from. It's a Pale Master Eldritch Knight leaning, and certain variants I've come up with use a little bit less in Pale Master, but I think most of the ones I've come up with use Pale Master as a solid secondary tree. I guess you could do Blade Forged if you wanted, but
Does that work better with something you want to play?
well, that's my thing. Is like I don't know what that does really any different than like what Bear does when you're a big boy in the front that can take a hit and you can still heal me in the back. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know how that like it kind of fills the same spot, right? Bulky, tanky frontliner who can heal. Hmm. Decisions are hard. Also, this video is gonna be like over an hour long of us literally sitting here going, "What the fuck do we do?"
Yeah. I mean, I had stuff picked. We need to figure out what we're doing together, though.
Listen, I never said I was good at this, okay?
I'm not good at this either.
I did mention that the first video was gonna be scuffed as fuck.
That's true.
I'm also tired. And I'm gonna be honest, I've had some level of difficulty with my eyes like this whole time.
Well, that's not very fun.
Well, it wasn't as bad at first, but it definitely got worse, which is weird because I probably sounded worse at the start than I do now, but yeah. This is gonna be one of those videos where I totally wouldn't be mad if, like, everybody skipped it and just went to the second one. I'd be like, you know what, that's fair. Like, if you're a diehard fan and you really want to watch and you want to be like, okay, so this is the bullshit they go through thinking, then hey, that's cool. But keep in mind, for context purposes, we talked about a lot of stuff before we started recording. I know I mentioned that, but still. And also, I'm tired, so that's not helping.
I also mentioned that before.
Yeah, but I'm tired, so.
Me too.
Hmm. Well, do you have a preference between the bear and the favored soul?
I mean, I've been having a ton of fun with Bear, and I did want to play it again.
Okay.
So I guess I would put that at the top of the list.
Alright, I'm gonna play Stick Rogue then.
Okay.
Now I have to figure out how the fuck to build this Stick Rogue. Uh... Oh god, okay. Hold on. This is gonna be problematic.
Why?
I need to open up the DDO builder.
Uh-oh.
Alright, you guys! It's been a great episode. Woo, yeah, because I gotta figure out exactly how I'm building the Stick Rogue, because I gotta figure out, like, strength requirements, and do I want / need to go human for a feat, or can I go something else?
Oh, the nitty-gritty, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could just try to do it off the cuff and not worry about certain things. Cause like I don't need assassin core 5 because it would be a stick assassin hybrid, right? Stick main, assassin secondary. You know, I could technically go tier 5 thief acrobat, core 6 assassin for deadly shadow. I don't know if that's really worth it because I trade out like 5% attack speed, I think +2 critical hit damage, um, one or two other BS things for like 2 sneak attack dice. Which honestly, the attack speed is one of the biggest things, which probably roughly balances out. It's possible. I'd have to double check it. It's possible that Assassin Core 6 might be more damage. Maybe. Not sure. One other thing to think about also is Ooh, I'm actually not against half orc. I am
Fork is
unironically
good.
not against half orc. And the reason is because half orcs get extra action boosts,
Hmm.
which is more hastes, which isn't bad. Humans get an extra feat, which could just be useful for getting all the feats. Obviously, there's the two-handed fighting line. Thief Acrobat gives you a feat or two for free in the tree that you would want to make your quarterstaves better. There's improved critical, there's precision, some pretty standard stuff. Oh yeah, also half orcs get just extra hit and damage with two-handers, as well as if you want to scoop it up, stuff like Orcish Rage. And yeah, haste boost is really good, but Orcish Rage is also pretty good. I mean, it's power boost, except it's like a 4 out of 3 point power. Excuse me, a 4 out of 3 point power boost instead of 3 out of 3. I could play a strength based Thief Acrobat. I could technically do that, but I think that misses out on a lot of advantage of dexterity in even abilities like Shadow Dodge, which for 3 points gives you like 3 dex, 3 dodge, and 3, I want to say max dex bonus. I mean, yeah, you can still play strength-based Thief Acrobat. It's not like it wouldn't work, but like, you've already got this light armor thing going on, so I think you get a lot more armor class, and that defense would be nice. But I guess you don't have to. But you also have evasion, and it'd be a shame to not try to leverage that evasion. And Thief Acrobat can spec into an ability called Improved Defensive Roll, which increases the health threshold that defensive roll can activate on upwards of 50% instead of the base 20% if you get it, as each rank in the ability gives you another 10% where it can proc. And if it does, its proc rate, while it can work, is based on your reflex save. So going dex-based or intelligence-based and getting insightful reflexes really helps with that versus strength-based, which doesn't. Granted, you could just not get defensive roll or not get improved defensive roll or just try not to rely on that. Like, those are absolutely options too, but I think it sort of limits the things you can spec into. But an advantage of going strength-based is you're not really slinging spells and you don't have a defensive stance that stops you from raging, so you could actually just be capable of raging, and you could use things like Primal Scream, and you could benefit from the straight up strength out of the half orc tree and stuff like that. And you could just play big weapon guy. You could play a fucking half orc that backstabs people with a tree branch. You could literally just you would be playing a rogue that rips a tree branch off of a tree, and not like a small one. I mean like one of those big ass like 1,000-year-old oak tree branches that's actually like a giant fucking log, and you
Gonna
just
stab someone with
you
a
just
log.
break that shit off, and you just swing bada 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 swing the back of someone's head, and you just pop it like you do a watermelon with a sledgehammer, only sideways and from behind. And then
Nice.
and then because you're a half orc, you just go sneaky. Like you just say the word sneaky like that after you do it, and it just works for like no reason. And it would do a lot of damage actually. In fact, it'd probably do more damage than the Dex version. And before anyone brings up, but Nico, what about Horizon Walker? You could play Dex based and get a trance out of that tree. Yeah, you could. Except I don't have it. So shut up. I don't have Horizon Walker. Because I don't have Salt Marsh.
Yeah, we don't have it yet.
I don't have Salt Marsh. Yeah, we don't have Salt Marsh.
Eventually.
So, that's cool.
If they would put it on the store for DDO points.
Yeah, I mean, I would buy it, but I've been I've been spending a little bit of extra money on other things lately, so it's been a little harder to justify stuff like that. And I'm also talking with Daniel more about starting to work on building another deck for Magic the Gathering, based around the immortal Nicol Bolas. So, the dragon god pharaoh, he deserves nothing but the best.
Demands a sacrifice.
He demands a lot of sacrifices. You don't know, like a lot of his cards that center around him or are like based on him or something or
Oh,
portray.
I know. You kicked the shit out of me in the
Oh
online
yeah, on
game with
Arena. Yeah,
him a
no,
lot.
it is like yeah. I know you had a thing, but like, yeah, here pick a thing.
Yeah,
Nah,
you have
sack it,
fucked many
loser.
of my decks with that.
Listen, Bolus is fucking. He's the best, dude. Like he's just the coolest. Like, who doesn't love being a dragon, god, and pharaoh at the same time? Oh, and having the ability to travel across different universes.
I mean, it's cool for him, not so cool for the guy fighting him. I didn't think he was very cool. I was like, man, this is bullshit. Where all my stuff go?
Listen, Bolus demands a sacrifice. You must pay tribute to your dragon god, Pharaoh.
When you said a sacrifice, I didn't know you meant all the sacrifice.
Listen. You wield but a drop of power.
Give it back.
Compared to him, your entire deck is but a mere sacrifice. So do I go half orc? The other issue with half orc too is they get lower intelligence, which really makes the trapping part rough. Oh boy, and it's kind of like ah
Don't worry, you'll find them all with your face.
yeah. So I'll have all this strength, and I won't be able to do the traps, or at least we'll have a harder time with them, and I won't have the evasion to not die to them. So
You know what? Just let me lead, because
yeah,
I will have the hit points to just survive them, and then you'll know where all of the traps are. And I won't die to them anyways, so.
yes, but what happens if the box is on the other side? Or what happens if I don't have the
Right on my back.
that's
I
one.
still think that would be a super freaking cool build where you could ride on a bear
I mean
and just stab people.
that's true. That would be cool. But I'd probably just play an inquisitive and shoot people with crossbows cuz who doesn't want to dual wield on the back of their mount and just
That's
shoot
true.
guns? For his neutral
Be
special,
some kind of
he
bear
wields a
jousting
gun.
build.
I mean, there's no like lances or anything in this game.
No pole arms?
Nope.
That's right, there isn't pole arms. That's dumb. There should be pole arms.
Hmm. But imagine if they added the bugbear race and added pole arms, and you could just like melee people from like base point blank shot range.
I'd rather melee them from bear range.
Well, bears aren't as long as bugbears with pole arms.
No, but someone sitting on a bear with a pole arm is longer than a bugbear with a pole arm.
Is longer the word?
Yes.
I don't think that's how mounts work. You're still in the same relative position. I don't think your actual reach is superior. Not not in that sense. Like not like just straight up like reach out. It's more like your movement while handling your reach weapon is better. You have more maneuverability with your actual raw positioning. You don't really have a footsie game that you play yourself. You just use the raw distance that you can cover in such a short time. And obviously, if someone gets, or I guess tries to get up close to you, your horse or your mount otherwise can make
Your
space
bear.
for you pretty easily. Yeah, your bear can make space
Your
for you
bear will
pretty
eat
easily.
them.
Well, that's true. So maybe
I will literally just bite their face.
maybe you do have more reach because your weak point, enemies being really close to you, at least your relative weak point.
It
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
exist.
because now they're close to a bear, so that's true. Maybe that's
And
irrelevant.
you never feed me, so I'm really hungry.
I mean, that's part of the strat.
So hungry.
I mean, I could go half orc and still go dex based or something, but I feel like that just misses out on some of the extra strength you can get from half orc. Like, not all obviously, because you can still just get like the extra hit and damage, extra strike through. Fuck, do I just play half orc?
Half orc is really
Even
good.
if I don't play strength based, even if I go dex based, do I play half orc? Because like I don't mind. I guess drow would technically be a decent option. Higher dexterity, higher intelligence. There's lower con, but I don't know. I have a bear, just don't get hit.
Yeah, don't get hit.
Uh, like
The bear will protect you.
elf wouldn't suck just because you get extra dex. Lower con is like, hey, I'm the rogue, just don't get hit. But like, I really like halfling for rogues in general. The biggest issue I have with stick rogues specifically is that you need strength for the two-handed fighting line, and halflings get lower strength. They get more dex, and their racial tree gives them sneak attack stuff, but that strength penalty is really rough on stick rogue. On like assassin rogue and on mechanic rogue, literally irrelevant. Halfling kicks major ass. But on stick rogue, where you need the strength for your quarterstaff feats, ooh, it's rough. And I would know because I did it. And you have to be very careful with your planning because meeting strength requirements for that stuff is not easy. Half orc gets extra strength, so meeting the two-handed fighting line requirements are easier. But if you don't go strength based, there's a lot of abilities in the tree that you either don't benefit from or can't benefit from as much, even though there's still a lot and they are good. But it's mostly the cores. Like, the cores are basically worthless, and the Orcish Rage ability itself does lose a little bit of its value. It's still good, and it's still better than Power Boost. You're spending 2 points instead of 3 for what you would have had to spend a theoretical 4th point in a Power Boost ability for that you can't even do. So it is still better value, but it's not as much as it itself could have, as well as things like power rage that you can't benefit from if you get some rage from something else that actually propagates it. And just strengthen the cores. So it's not worthless. Like half orc is also just really good for doing damage in general. Like if you ever play a melee character, half orc just does good damage. There's no way around it. But if you're not strength based, if you're not rage based, you can't squeeze everything out of half orc, but you can still get most of it. Human just having an extra feat is pretty nice. There's no real way around that. Human works on like basically every build. Even builds that don't need an extra feat to work. Worst case scenario, uh, have some toughness. Though you could make an argument for just going like dwarf or something at that point, but hey, whatever. Um, I could probably do something with shifter. I also don't know how I have shifter. Is that just free? Is base shifter just free? Did I get that from something? I don't think I did. But anyways, I'm sure there's something I could do with shifter, but I don't recall anything off the top of my head that specifically works really well with stick rogue or something. You could
Yeah, that's
probably,
synergized more with like ragey stuff.
well, because their shift kind of counts as like a rage, though.
Hmm.
Do
Pairs really well with druid.
does base shifter get magic fang? And have they fixed it to where Magic Fang works on Shifter now without
It
them actually being in an animal form? Because
it
if
always did work, and yes, you do get it.
what do you mean it always worked? I thought at first it didn't work.
No, it worked. Because I noticed that I could accidentally cast it when I was out of bear form and it wouldn't just fizzle.
Oh,
Yeah, so I could always just cast it whenever.
so I thought it was bugged at first, and um, you had to actually still go into animal form.
Nope.
Huh. If that's the case, you can make an argument for Shifter literally just for Magic Fang. Like I shit you not, just Magic Fang would be
I
a.
will double check the tree just to make sure, but I'm pretty certain you do get it.
If base shifter gets it, that could be an option because that's um I think that's +6 to hit and damage by the time you hit level cap, because I want to say it's +1 per 5 levels, and I think it's character level with no cap.
You
If it
do get it at 5 AP.
Oh, well, 5 to unlock. How much does the actual ability itself cost?
1.
Okay, so 6.
Yeah.
I figure it costs some piddly amount of mana.
Cost is 8 hit points. Cooldown 20 seconds.
Wait, it costs 8 hit points to activate?
That's what it says in the builder. It has been typoed before, so maybe it's 8 mana, but it says 8 hit points.
I wonder if they did hit points because you might play a shifter and not necessarily have the mana to cast it. I guess that could be a reason, but
Be a weird reason though, because that conflict happens with other things.
yeah, I don't know.
I think I had that happen on Paladin before.
What
Something.
what with Paladin?
I don't remember. There was something I had to wait to be able to cast on something.
Oh, yeah, Divine Might, but that's different because you do get spells and you do get mana as a Paladin, just like not at level 1. But
Yeah.
Shifter as a race, you can't guarantee that you're getting mana even if it's later on. Like as a Paladin, you can guarantee that you will get that mana eventually.
Eventually,
Right.
yeah.
But with Shifter you can't. So maybe that's a thing, but
That's why they did it.
I'm pretty sure there's other things like Gnome, which has Color Spray, and Phantasmal Killer, which I'm pretty sure costs mana, but there's no guarantee you have mana, so
I could also just
seems
give
weird.
you Magic Fang if you didn't want to deal with the hit points.
I guess that's true. I guess theoretically I wouldn't even have to spec into the ability if you play a Bear Druid. Cause
Yeah, then you'll save yourself 1 AP.
wait, does Magic Fang work on other people? Yes, it can,
Yeah,
because you've accidentally cast
I've
it on me
accidentally
and it
whiffed it on
fizzled.
you.
So I guess theoretically I could pick a shifter literally just for you to give me Magic Fang, which seems like a really weird justification to do it, but Magic Fang is a really strong buff. Like,
It is.
it's not
I don't
weak at
mind doing
all.
it.
There's technically an argument for Warforged, because it does have some useful things in the tree. Like, there is Strike Through, there is Memories from the Last War, there's Attach Weapon, you know. So even from just a damage perspective, it's got some good things, but I feel like in practice you usually just want to go half orc over Warforged if just the extra damage is all you're looking at. And I think if you're playing a rogue, you're really looking at squeezing out more damage because you're a rogue. Let someone else take the defense route. I'm not saying don't care about your defenses, but let the tank worry about that. Don't be afraid to be dodgy, but you know, I'd probably push the offense over pushing the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, huh. Do we go shifter then? What do we get for? I'm just gonna pretty arbitrarily put some points there just so it'll kind of let me take a look at stuff. Skills, yeah, whatever. Just let me look at the next screen. Racial bonus feat. So what do we want? Beast Tide is the tankier one, right? Con, rage bonus to AC and armor class, morale bonus to fortitude saves, penalty to wisdom. Use of other, and then Wild Hunt is extra wisdom, rage bonus to wisdom and dexterity, morale bonus to will saves, -2 penalty to strength. Shares charges with bonuses, and anything that grants bonuses while raging will grant bonuses with this, with the exception of abilities that add strength while raging, such as Barbarian's Power Rage. Yeah, because it's supposed to be Dex and Wisdom E. Should I just look at the Shifter tree? Do I look at the Shifter tree
It
real
is a pretty good tree. I always
quick
like it.
like? We've also went Beast Hide route for extra tanky stuff, and hold on, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna see if I can pull up Shifter on my phone real quick, 'cause there might be a really weird argument for Wild Hunt Shifter. Oh, it's gonna be 72 degrees tomorrow. 12 cooler than today. Neat, because I have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, we have a cold front coming through.
Less neat. I don't want to freeze, I just don't want to burn.
Well, I mean, it's a cold front for here. Everyone else will make fun of us.
Hey, listen. Cold is cold to me. Alright, let's see. Phone work. DDO,
Shifter tree.
shifter. Yeah, blah blah blah. Just manage, shifter, shifter. I don't care about deities. I don't care about past lives. Oh, one of the past lives is extra dex. That's neat. Alright, extra shifting, more rage uses, which count as more shifting uses. How many shifts do you have at base? Like, before you invest anything? Because if I can only do it, like, once, it's probably not worth it.
God, I don't know, because I've never used it. I always do it with bear.
True, true. Brutal
Might
fighting,
just be,
no.
I think it's just
Hunt and
one.
track. What do they spot, listen, and intimidate? I mean, the spot's useful, but probably not. Extend shifting would be nice. Hardy shifting would be nice. Self-reliant is dece. Shifted defenses. Shifted defenses or senses. In our case, we'd probably go sense. Yeah, we have wild hunt in that case, so we would have extra spot and extra dodge. There's natural armor. I guess there's the howl. What does a howl do? Granting nearby enemies action boost bonus to saving throws. I guess that could be useful. Magic Fang. Oh yeah, it does say it costs 8 HP, and so does Maul. Huh, weird. By 1 plus 1 per 5 caster levels. Yeah, it works on players, but only if they're like animals or something. Maul, plus 2W, adds a bleed effect. Striking the target may intimidate them. Yeah, but I don't want to intimidate them. So, granted, it says
Ideally
based on
not.
the, granted it says based on the player's intimidate skill, so it's probably a moot point, but still.
Yeah, after the first couple levels, it probably won't do anything.
Powered by nature, wild hunt shift. So you get, or for wild hunt, you get 25, 50, 100 extra spell points. You can now cast spells while raging. That doesn't matter. You're now immune to fatigue, including the fatigue from shifting, which is nice. Versus Beast Tide gets positive healing at. Well, I don't need the mana for literally anything. And like, even if I go into like Harper Agent for Know the Angles or something, um, the only mana I'll need for that I could get with like 1 or 2 cores in Dire Thaumaturge with Reaper points. So that's irrelevant. Like, I would have the mana for it, so I don't need this. That doesn't really do anything for me. Augment Summoning, nobody cares. I don't, at least. There's a favorite enemy, which could be neat, I guess. Or any good. You can get favored enemy plant. I'm going shifter. Fuck plants. I hate fighting plants. Those assholes are resistant to everything
They
because they're
really are.
plants. You can't kill plants because they're plants. They're
I don't know, I've
everywhere.
known plenty of people who kill plants.
Yeah, it's ironic. Like, in real life, we absolutely destroy rainforests like they're fodder, but in video games, plants are some of the strongest enemies. They're so durable. Ugh, do I go shifter just for favorite enemy plant? I hate those guys. I mean, I love plants. I just like fighting them in video games, and specifically this one is God. They're so fucking thick.
With two C's.
Stronger Howl. Enemies take a penalty to saving those. That could be pretty useful because it would make you land like roars and stuff more often, though chances are you're probably landing them anyways.
Typically.
Presumably.
At least up until epics, they land pretty reliably.
You could, instead of going human, you could go like half orc and scoop up some extra strength or something.
No, if I'm gonna do this again, I liked it with the action boost. Oh, and I didn't really use that action boost.
Yeah, you use the haste boost more, so.
That's right. Yeah, I used that a lot.
So the extra action boost was
But I do
So-so.
want to work on my past life because I'm not going to take Druid, and I am already done with Half Orc.
Oh. But don't you want to buff up Anubis? Don't you want to make him the carry? Listen, if
I don't even level him up every level. I don't even take him out every level.
well, maybe if you got past life druid, you'd have a reason to.
Alright, you know what? I'm gonna do it just for you.
Oh
We're gonna
god.
buff Anubis.
Max Anubis build.
Oh, and then I lose my bonus feat, though.
For context,
And I was using that.
viewer, Anubis is the name of her pet. Exceptional
It's my
shifting.
wolf.
Wild magic while raging gain lesser displacement. Ooh, that's useful. When you activate a rage, you get temporary spell points. That's fucking worthless for me. Okay, so lesser displacement, I guess. True Hunter, bonus to saves versus enchantments, illusions, freedom of movement, plus 10 spot. Doesn't provide freedom of movement or petrification immunity as a bug. So, unfortunate. Howl of Terror, you utter terrifying. Yeah, but that scales with Wisdom on. We're not Wisdom based. So I can see a couple things that would be useful, but I don't think this is the best way to go for this character. Um, there's some things here and there, but I don't think there's enough. Some of these things are too magic related to be useful for a character that doesn't use magic. Like extra mana doesn't do anything. Um, the paralyzing howl would be awesome if we used wisdom, if we had enchantment bonuses, but we're not doing that. We're not getting that, so it doesn't really do anything. Temporary spell points would be great if we cast spells, but we don't, so it's not doing anything. So we're kind of missing out on a lot of the things that the Wild Hunt Shifter has to offer because we just don't care about that spell stuff. And I think when it comes to the more physical side of things, we could just get more slash better things from being something else. If it was a lot harder to get lesser displacement, maybe. If it was a lot harder to get that dodge bonus, maybe. But like if we're a thief acrobat, we're probably getting a lot of dodge anyways. Lesser displacement, we can grab at least blurry on an item fairly easily. Hello, is this thing on?
It's on.
What is going
I'm
on?
hearing you. I
Uh,
don't know. It was
uh,
coming through.
I think my DDO is frozen.
You have to restart it.
Uh, okay, well, my computer seems to be working. Yeah, my DDO is literally just frozen, so let's see if that
Womp
works.
womp.
There we go. Okay, well, hey, I'm on my desktop now, so where is my, was it, was it this one? No, it was this one. I have not updated Matrim's Builder in ages. Hey, load. But yeah, I don't think Shifter's the way to go in this case. Like, Magic Fang would be really good. Even if we don't spec into it and you give it to us, it would still be really good. I fully admit to that.
Hmm.
But the shift is a little lackluster without investing into it, and with investing into it, I feel like you can get more with something else. I feel like for our purposes, for what we're doing in this context, we can get more. So I can't see anything. So let's make a new one. I don't know why enhancements are already up like that. Go away. We're just gonna be neutral for simplicity. We need some pass lives here. I'm just gonna do 3 fighter. Oh no, actually, I'm gonna do some racial ones just to make sure it works. I think I did my ASMR ones. Um, Here, I have 2? I think I have 2 on that. So I'm just gonna do that. That's what, 1 charisma, 1 wisdom. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. We're not caring about those stats. This'll make it work. So I get my build points, and it's not really gonna break anything. Should be fairly accurate enough, just so I can kind of see what we're looking at. So let's. Oh yeah, and we have the tome, so that'll help a lot. So let's see what happens if we go half orc. Because frankly, I think it would be really funny to play a half orc rogue. I just think that would be quite comical. So
You're gonna be the sneakiest.
let's see if we play a dex based half orc rogue. How much con can I get? I can get max con. But 10 intelligence probably isn't enough. So what if I do like that? 16 con, 14 intelligence? Or... Ooh. Oh, so because of the intelligence penalty, I can't do 14 con, 16 intelligence. I could do... I could do 14 con, 15 intelligence, but... But I need strength for the two-handed fighting line. Rogue has base attack bonus issues, so I can't take them immediately. So I'm going to shove my strength up, so I will have it when accounting for tomes, and just see when the soonest I could take them is regardless. Yeah, this would require a feat swap with Fred, so I could take that at level 1. But I can't take it at level 3 anyways. I don't think I can take improved at 6, because I don't think I have the base attack bonus for it. So I think I would have to take that at 9. Yeah. Do. Where is the thing? Hello, improved two-handed fighting. Why is that not on there? Do I have to wait till 12? 15? What the? Why is it not? Hello? Why is my thing not working?
Did you break something else?
What the? Hold on. Well, it's recognizing that I have the tome because it's saying I can get two-handed fighting, but only with a feat swap from Fred at level 1 because I have 14 strength, and my tome kicks in, and then I can do it. Why? Why would it not let me get that? It's like it's only counting as a +1 tome. What happens if I crater all that dex and max strength? Will it actually recognize it with base strength later? Why am I on this? I have to be level 9. 9. No, it's not. What? I have 20 strength at level 1, which is enough for them the whole time. Am I just looking in the wrong spot? It's improved two-handed fighting, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Am I going crazy, or is my builder just borked? Wait. Don't tell me... Is it because I didn't pick a class? Oh! I didn't pick a class, so I didn't know what my base attack bonus was. Look at that. If I go unknown... Yeah, that's the reason. Okay, so
Uh,
I totally forgot to toggle the class onto Rogue, so it literally didn't know how to calculate my base attack bonus.
That makes sense.
Hey, the more you know, chat. So I think 9, yeah, 9 we can get it because we don't get full base attack bonus. We literally can't get it at 6. So at 9 we can get improved. So I think at 12 we can get greater than, or no, we cannot get greater at 12 because, oh right, because that would normally be 12 anyway, so it's 15. Because then we only have 11 then. Yeah, because we get 75% or 3/4, which, oh, because we have 0 base attack bonus at level 1. So by level 20, we have 3/4. But while leveling, we have like barely shy. Like at certain levels we do, like at 12 we have 9 base attack bonus, but at level 15 we actually only have 11, but it's still enough for the feat, so it doesn't really matter. But still, it's just something to keep in mind. So the earliest we could get them is level 9 and 15 respectively for the two-handed fighting line, which means we need 17 strength by level 9 if we want to get it as soon as possible. And there are other things we can get, so it's technically not like we couldn't get other things, but that would delay us increasing our damage by a good amount. By a little bit. Please ignore some effects on the feat, like the ability score scaling that has been lowered. I just haven't updated Matrim's builder, as I mentioned, so. So how much tome do I have at level 9? Rachel, remind me, tome scaling.
Great question. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I can Google it if you would like.
Well, at that point I can find it. Okay, let me see. Doo-doo-doo. Ability tome. I just want to know like exactly how much at exactly how each level. Come on, give me the section.
Found it if you would like me to read it.
Okay, so at level 9, the highest bonus we would have is the level 7 bonus, because the next one is the level 11 bonus, which we wouldn't have yet. So we would have plus 4, which means we would need 13 strength to have improved two-handed fighting as early as possible. And greater two-handed fighting has exactly the same strength requirement, so that literally doesn't matter. And I don't think perfect has a strength requirement at all. Yeah, so that's completely irrelevant. So the highest strength, that's something else to note. The highest strength this character ever needs is 17. So we could theoretically try to math it to where we have 17 strength at 18 and get greater two-handed fighting then. Or if we really didn't want a second tier 1 generic epic feat, and we only wanted overwhelming critical and we didn't care for another one, we could actually even wait until we had the plus 8 bonus from the tome at level 22 and get greater two-handed fighting at level 24, and we could really set things back and squeeze the fuck out of our strength. Like, just to show you hypothetically what it could be, if we need 17 for the highest and we start with 10 with a plus 8 supreme tome, we would cap out at 18 functional base strength, or I guess I should say inherent base strength, with literally no effort, which gives us 4 more build points to actually squeeze out like 2 more con or something. And if that's the case, we need 15 strength for two-handed fighting. Look at that. This character gets two-handed fighting at level 12, because at level 11 we get plus 5, and 10 plus 5 is 15, and you need 15 for two-handed fighting. And then, so at 15, you get plus 6, which is actually not enough. So you actually can't even get improved two-handed fighting at level 15. You have to get that at 18, I think. No, you actually can't get that at 18. You can't get that at 18 because you don't get the plus 7 until 19. So it's actually kind of scuffed, and 11 doesn't work because then you have to get improved at 21. Oh, I lied. There is another generic epic feat you want as a pure rogue, improve sneak attack. So you actually don't want to do this anyways, but even if for whatever reason you did, you would get improved two-weapon fight or two-handed fighting at 21 and greater at 24. And then I guess with 27 and 30 you could get overwhelming critical and epic sneak attack or improve sneak attack. Is it improve sneak attack or epic sneak attack? Improve sneak attack. So if you wanted to go all in on damage, but like have minimum strength, you could do that. And at level 30, that would technically work. Oh, but for leveling, that's cancer. Who wants to get tier 1 combat style at character level 12? God, that's a horrible idea. Please don't do this at home, kids. What would happen if we made it 11? Like, just out of curiosity. Oh, what is the soonest we can get two-handed fighting? I just want to see when it will work. Can we get it by 9? So we can get it by 9. Do you really want to wait till level 9 for two-handed fighting? Like, I would be willing to wait till like level 3 for two-handed fighting and say, alright, fine, I'll just hit one guy, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Right? Like, Korthos Island, Borderlands, not the end of the world.
Yeah,
I
not that big of a
I
deal.
can handle that. It's not going to kill me. I don't even get dex to damage until level 3 anyways, so...
So you'll just double suck.
Shut up. Um, and then when do we get improved? Can we get a 15? We get improved at 15, which then thusly means we can get greater at 18. So if we go for 11 strength, we could get two-handed fighting at 9, improved at 15, and greater at 18. I think greater two-handed fighting at 18 happens literally no matter what. Or no, wait, we could get greater at 15 on one of them, couldn't we? Yeah, we get greater at 15 at the earliest. But like greater at 18 versus 15 is not the end of the world. It'll just mean that our power spike at 15 is like not as much, but our power spike at 18 is quite a bit more. Like compared to what the alternative would be. But is that worth it? Like, does squeezing out this extra point, like what does this get us? This gets us 1 con, and then we have to spend 1 point on either wisdom or charisma. So we should probably spend it on wisdom for like the will save, for potentially a will save and a spot. This is like technically like 0.5 will save and 0.5 spot, sort of. That's probably not worth. So what if we do 12? Like if we do 12, go away. So if we do 12, we get two-handed fighting at 3. I don't know why I'm even bothering to look at 9. I don't have, or at 6. I don't have the base attack bonus for that. But that would
Can't
mean,
even do it if you wanted to.
yeah. But I'm not getting improved two-handed fighting at 9. I'm getting improved two-handed fighting at 12. And then greater at 15. And I'm not getting improved critical at 9 or anything instead. This puts improved critical bludgeoning. Why did I hit piercing? Bludgeoning at 18 as opposed to at level 12. And then what do we get? Improved feint. Precision. Nope, there we go. Precision. So then we have another feat at 9, and then that's it. So improved feint, precision. Like what else do we get? We don't need swords to plowshares because that's in the tree. We could just get toughness. Just kind of cuz. It's a few more hit points.
Toughness.
We could get weapon focus, bludgeoning, 1 to hit and 2 melee power. We're not a strength build, so we're not getting something like stunning blow. Uh, Slicing blow. Let's go. We could just get something like skill focus or whatever, just for a little bit more in a skill we want or need, I suppose. I'm pretty sure quick draw is in the tree, so that's irrelevant. I guess technically we could get power attack, and against enemies that don't have fortification, we can power attack for more damage, and against enemies that do, we can use precision. So we do technically have that as an option. I don't think we need magical training for anything. I guess theoretically we could get Know the Angles and never have to spend a Reaper point in Dire Thaumaturge and still use Know the Angles if that was the route we wanted to go. But not really, I don't think that's necessarily important. Dragon Rock of Finding, Lightning Reflexes, Luck of Heroes, these seem like pretty low options. We don't need Knight's Training for anything. We're Dex based in this case, we don't need Insightful Reflexes. I guess we could get something like Hamstring. Sure. We could just get Dodge for just a little bit of Dodge. Bug also grants +1 AC. Huh, that's weird. We don't need combat expertise. I guess we could get like Die Hard or something. Like, I don't know what other feat that we get here. If we go human, then we can get dodge into mobility, and then in epic sometime we could get spring attack. And mobility 2, granting us more max dex bonus, would also um, make it this would raise our functional dodge cap as well, of which we get a lot of dodge, so we can actually benefit from that. But with only 1 feat, it's really hard to go like, yeah, let me get dodge at level 9 and then get mobility at what, 27. So like overwhelming critical and improved sneak attack at 21 and 14 in one order or another, and then like I guess 27 we could get mobility. And if we really wanted like 30, we could get spring attack. If we don't want to get some other good tier 2 epic feats, like we could technically do that. But what other odd and end feat is there here that we really want? I'm honestly kind of at a loss for what other thing we get. Like, you would think we would get like swords to plowshares or something, but the tree grants us the feat automatically, so we literally like don't need it. It doesn't do anything for us because we're gonna get it just for picking thief acrobat cores anyways. So why grab it? There's no point. Hmm. We could we could pick up dodge and purposefully wear robes instead of light armor to have more dodge. That could be an option. And we could wear the monk outfit for part of the family instead of the traditional light armor for, like, normal rogues and rangers and stuff like that. Those typical light armor, more dexy, sneaky, backstabby melees.
Mm.
We could wear the more monkish armor in the outfit instead of the light armor and have higher max dodge, and then possibly benefit from the actual dodge feat, because I don't think this character would ever take epic toughness. Like, we could get toughness, sure, but I don't think this character ever gets epic toughness, because 21 and 24 are locked down between overwhelming critical and improved sneak attack. Oh. And then 27 and 30, if we're just kind of there and I want to get another gear slot for something else, like I could technically pick up blinding speed for perma haste if like I'm being lazy and not getting like haste potions or something, which I never do because I'm lazy. Um, Epic damage reduction is good even on a character that is dodgy, because you're still going to get hit eventually and every little bit helps. Obviously something like epic reflexes so that we don't fail those evasions ever is always useful. So it's not like there aren't feats to get in tier 2 for epics that aren't useful or something. But I guess technically if you're trying to look at maxing out certain stats, like you don't actually have to get those. I guess technically you get Watchful Eye too, but I feel like by the time you hit 27, seems like a moot point to get auto search. Like you're a little,
That's very late for auto
yeah,
search.
you're a little down the line. Like auto search at 27, yeah, it just too little, too late, I think.
Maybe 7.
I think Inquisitive gets it at 6 because it's core 3, I think. I think.
At
Yeah. Yeah,
27,
it should
why
be.
even get it?
Yeah, it's a little late. There's a good chance that we might straight up, unironically, get weapon focus bludgeoning. Because plus 1 to hit and 2 melee power, baby. Not in the epic feats in the heroic one at 9. That might happen. That might be a that might be a dodge feat for some eventual payoff of additional dodge. I guess theoretically we could get toughness here and get epic toughness at either 27 or 30. I guess there's a little bit of malleability to it. Is there any value in having this extra point of con though? Or is it worth dropping that con from 15 to 14 and getting 2 more strength and instead getting the two-handed fighting feats as soon as possible? Oh, right, because you need the base attack bonus. This puts us getting improved feint at 3 instead of 1, but two-handed fighting at 1 instead of 3 with a feat swap. Though it might be a moot point there regardless, especially since you're going to be a strength build. So you can also pretty much hard carry at the first and second level anyways. Even without bear form, you could probably just straight up hard carry by being able to hit things at level 1. And the level 2, you get bear and you get strike through anyways. So honestly, carrying me to 3 should be basically free regardless. So I think the first and second feat basically don't matter because it doesn't matter if I can actually fight at first and second level. That's just kind of functionally irrelevant because there's no reason you shouldn't be able to waltz through the area pretty much just kind of cuz.
Yeah, it should be easy enough.
And then precision at 6, I think that's fair because 9, 12, and 15 are taken up by some pretty core damage things. Not that precision isn't like core for damage or anything, but that depends on having an opponent that has fortification to bypass. The other ones are just kind of more damage is more damage. I guess technically the improved critical has the reverse effect of precision of requiring enemies that don't have fortification, but details, or having the fortification bypass on them, which would also put us taking that weird um, sort of miscellaneous feat at 18, which I guess has the advantage of giving us more practical time to think about it and see if maybe wearing the outfit versus the light armor is like worth it or how the numbers work out or whatever. And it also means that we get that feat that is clearly a bit more nebulous and less important at a later point. Instead of playing around with the nebulous ability for longer, we play around with the more important abilities for longer. We do miss out on like a potential point of constitution or two, but this puts us at getting these core feats as soon as possible. Oh, wrong thing. And then we'll probably get like overwhelming critical, improved sneak attack. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. Um, In my sneak attack calculation I gave you earlier, add 3d6 to literally every permutation for improved sneak attack. I just forgot to add that in. Oops. So, I think that makes 44. What it caps out at now as an absolute upper limit, barring like dual sets between Wall Watch and Sands, or I guess Silent Avenger and Sands, because I don't know the Sands sets and how they might potentially fit in. So again, like temporary boosted, not standing, but still. I think I think that means you might be able to hit 40 standing, by the way. So that's a thing to consider. Anywho, um, yeah, I guess 26 perfect two-handed fighting, 28 probably perfect two-weapon fighting just for 5% double strike. Um, I personally would probably go Scion of the Ethereal because I like the sneak attack, but you could absolutely go Scion of Arborea. But I'm gonna go with Ethereal because sneaky beaky like. For my generic 27 and 30 feet. Oh yeah, for 29, obviously you grab Dire Charge today. When the destinies change, probably don't. So I'm gonna put on, I don't know, Embodiment of Law here, I guess. Oh yeah, Elusive Target got fixed, so it actually works now, didn't it? So maybe you get that if you want more defense. I'm gonna put on Embodiment of Law, cause I can. Cause fuck you. That's it. That's my reason. Um, let's just say theoretically, because it's funny. We're gonna put Dodge. Oh god, so many M's. There's so many M's. Mobility and Sap. Why is Sap on there? Spring attack. We're gonna get dodge mobility and spring attack, literally because we can. Huh? Hey, it gives a dodge bonus. Neat. So was that 7 dodge just from that? And then for our rogue special feats, we could actually also get improved evasion. 1, 2, 3. We get 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 6 on here. So slippery. So opportunist definitely. Double strike and fortification bypass, good damage. Definitely want slippery mind just to help us avoid getting like held and danced, or at least to try to. Um, on a stick rogue, you've got a lot more reason to get defensive roll because you can increase the threshold to upwards of 50%. And then lastly, you could get improved evasion, definitely, especially if you decide to be some weird nerd lord like me and not get epic reflexes or whatever, then improved evasion becomes a lot better because then you don't roll a 1 and take all that max damage with having like 0 MRR anyways, and you just kind of die, so that's pretty useful. But you could also be an absolute Chad and get crippling strike like a legend. So yeah, something like this probably seems like a pretty decent feat list. Is this optimal? No, no, it's not. You can also, by the way, get like improved evasion and then feat swap it out for crippling strike once you get epic reflexes later on. But this build doesn't get epic reflexes or improved evasion because I make bad choices and you shouldn't listen to me. That's the reason. I'm probably not going to actually go with this. I'll probably get either improved evasion or epic reflexes. But hey, it might be fun to play around with spring attack. And it might be fun to hear the crippling strike sound effect like 3 times at once because you hit 3 enemies with your attack or something stupid like that. I don't know.
Worse reasons to pick something.
Yeah, it might be funny. I mean, is it the best option? Probably not.
I mean, how did I end up with this bear build?
Well, yeah. I don't think I actually plan on using the universal trees at all, so I shouldn't need to even grab them. So I shouldn't need any of this stuff to access that. So let's just go take a look at enhancements. Woo, yeah. Oh wait, I have to make sure I have a inherent universal point as well, because I do. Which doesn't matter since I don't think I'm using any of the ones. So I'll put on, I don't know, Vistani, Inquisitive, uh, Harper, Falconry. There, sure, they're on now. Woo, yeah. Um, so for Half Orc, we've got like 4 points. So Half Orc Fury, Half Orc Weapon Training 1. I don't actually really care about the strength at all. Like, it literally doesn't matter. The strength or the strength while your health goes lower literally doesn't matter on this character. So, and I'm not using Sunder, and I don't want aggro, so I actually get +1 will saves. One, two, three, 4 points. That should be a 4 racial. I don't know exactly where our universal points are going to go, and I don't really think they are going much of anywhere, so I'm just not going to spend it right now. I don't really care about the mechanic tree. I mean, yeah, I could get like search and spot, disable device, and open lock over here. I could get the skill boost. It's not like there's nothing I can't get here, but we don't really care about mechanic. Really mostly here for Thief Acrobat, and we want to get some Assassin too. So I think we probably want to see how little we can put into Assassin. Oh no, I don't want that. I want Shiv. I only really need 1 point in it. Other than that, we could actually get weakening strikes. So probably get Heartseeker poison because it lowers their fortitude save, and a lot of your DCs are fortitude based. So probably get Heartseeker poison. Literally just cause. We need cores. We need sneak attack training. So I guess at that point we just get a point in Venom Blades because it's something, and we don't really care about action boost power because we're going to get haste boost, and we have the option for Orcish Rage, which is just better version of that. So we have to get Assassin's Trick. If you're playing a rogue and you don't get Assassin's Trick, I don't know what you're doing. Get Assassin's Trick. It's not even for the fortification reduction, it's for removing the sneak attack immunity because this lets you sneak attack Reapers. And that by itself is worth getting if you can. So more sneak attack training, more dex, critical accuracy. At this point, I think the cooldown on this is like 6 seconds, so we could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we could get another one, but I'm just gonna be lazy and get more Venom Blades. We do actually want core 5 or core 4. That's 5 melee power, and we can stack more dodge from this. If I remember correctly, when I played my last Thief Acrobat in light armor, nimbleness did little to nothing for dodge. The melee power was still good, but the dodge was borderline, if not irrelevant, because I literally couldn't benefit from it. So we might try doing an outfit version this time and try to see if we can push that dodge a little bit farther. The execute is great. Multi-target execute is awesome. We don't need killer. We can get quick strikes and Thief Acrobat. We actually got the poison attack, so we're going to scoop up weakening strikes. More than anything, this makes the boss do less damage to our tank. Super useful. More sneak attack. More dex. And there's no real point in grabbing one other point here anywhere to get access to core 5 for lethality because we're not using a one-handed weapon. So this is it. We spend 29 points in Assassin, and that's really as pushy as we go with it. We could not get Weakening Strikes and not get Heartseeker Poison as a combo there and shave 2 points off the top, for 27, and if we really needed to be light, we could take off the point of dex there, but I think the sneak attack is a little too good to pass up, and sweet Christ, this execute is a good ability. If you can get this execute, you probably want it, especially if you can execute 3 targets at once. And if you have insane double strike from Thief Acrobat, possibly even double execute the same target. Double strike execute. Still not as good as a dual wielder who can double strike on both hands, and if you roll good on your double strike, quad execute functionally, but it's still good. It's multi-target, so it trades off. We want basically everything in Thief Acrobat, so this is going to be a lot of points. Dex to hit with quarterstaves, hit and damage with quarterstaves, attack speed with quarterstaves. We probably want the movement speed. We want haste boost. We want dex to damage, max dodge and max dex bonus. We want... Oh, that's right. I forgot they also updated it to where quick strike only costs 3 points. Interesting. And I don't know if I need sweeping strikes if I have a bear. Or staff lunge actually does have use though. And vault could just be nice utility. So I'm gonna do a weird thing. Where I'm gonna get everything else. Shadow dodge is great. Dodge, dexterity, max dex bonus in light armor. Oh yeah, didn't they also lower the cost of shadow dodge from 2 per rank to 1 per rank too? Oh man, that's awkward. Max dodge, max dex bonus, immune to most knockdown effects on slippery surfaces. No mercy, hit and damage. Defensive roll triggering sooner. More dex, more dex. Max dodge, max dex bonus for light armor, double strike with staves, morale bonus to strengthen dex after tumbling, melee power, hit and damage, crit multi, and threat range. Honestly, even if you never click the active, this is still 2 points for 5 dodge, and max dex bonus with light armor, so it's still really good. And then the capstone, follow through for 12 seconds after tumbling, you get 50% strike through. On Vorpal, they're knocked down, 2 strength, 2 dex, 1 to hit, 2 to damage, 5% attack speed, 2 to critical hit damage, 2 balance jump and tumble, 2 sneak attack dice, and plus 2 to hit when performing sneak attacks. That's just really good. Again, probably not as much straight up damage as Deadly Shadow gives, as you get 2 more sneak attack dice and 10 more melee power, versus 5% attack speed, 2 damage, 2 critical hit damage, I'm sorry. So, you know, Assassin Capstone, probably doing more, but you're probably not going to get to the points of getting the Assassin Capstone unless you're like going for Assassinate and Measure the Foe and all these things up there, but you don't get anything out of Knife Specialization. Deadly Strikes actually would still be useful. Light Armor Mastery would also be useful on you actually. And Measure the Foe and Assassinate, again, are things that you could actually make use of. The biggest issue with using these abilities is that really you miss out on the critical profile that you get from Tier 5 Thief Acrobat if you're actually using a stick. So it's a little bit of a joke, but you can multi-target assassinate, I would imagine. But even if you can, I think overall it's probably still less useful than going into Tier 5 Thief Acrobat. And you could go Tier 5 Thief Acrobat and Core 6 or Capstone Assassin and try to just go for some, just like max out your auto attack damage or something. But I feel like you spend too many points in Assassin that don't benefit that build as much and miss out on too many things in Thief Acrobat that do benefit you more. So even if we take the rest of these points and try to put them in the racial tree, we're probably spending a few more in Thief Acrobat than it shows here if we really want. Subtlety and Sly Flourish to really crater our threat generation. Quick Strike for the double strike. Shadow Dodge for dodge and dex and stuff. So I'm just going to pretend because Shadow Dodge and Quick Strike both got cut in half, I'm just going to get Quick Strike and say that that counts as both. And then we get like Subtlety and then 2 points. Oh, or 1 point in Sly Flourish or something just to have the attack. Like we could do something like that, just really reduce our threat generation. If we just wanted to really push our damage more, we could go into, say, Half Orc. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick up another Stubborn to unlock the rest of the stuff. Then we've got 4 points, so we could pick up. Well, I guess only 3 of them can go here, so we could pick up like an extra action boost. We could pick up the Orcish Rage. We could just get 2 to hit and damage and call it good or something. If we didn't care as much about some of the other things in Thief Acrobat and wanted to shave some points off, say maybe we don't get defensive roll. Alright, I forgot this. It only goes directly backwards in how you do it. Right, say we only really cared about maxing out the damage things. So let's get like that, sure. We're not getting the movement speed, we're not getting the threat reduction, we're not getting defensive roll. We just got a little bit more strike through, I guess. We could come back over here to Half Orc. We could pick up extra uses of haste. Some more damage there. Spend that last point, max out the strike through. The universal point doesn't really matter, right? The universal point can go wherever. It's basically irrelevant. You probably put it in Inquisitive just for +1 to hit with all weapons and call it a day. Technically, it's also +1 bluff, which is good for your improved feint and your Shiv and stuff. I think Shiv auto bluffs. Improved feint actually cares about your bluff, but still, you care about your bluff, so it's good. So you could squeeze out a few more points of hit and damage there and another action boost or 2. If you actually went the power attack route, you could get a few points in improved power attack, or great weapon aptitude for more strike through. Maybe try to go up to brutality or half orc weapon training 4. So let's see if we try to skim a few points out of. I'll just put another point in shift to make it easy. Out of assassin. So I guess we just max out both of those. Alright, like let's say we just spend 25. We're not getting killer because we're getting quick strike. We're not getting weakening strikes and poisoning strikes, and we're just going to avoid getting that last point of dexterity. And then we come back here and we lose the point of strike through there. So we could grab just another action boost, and then 2 more hit and damage, and then a point in brutality there. And now we're looking at 30% helpless damage in Thief Acrobat and 20% in Half Orc. So if our bear roar stuns everyone, that's hella extra damage. And we're getting a bunch of straight up damage just in the half orc lineup there. We're getting a bunch of extra uses of haste boost, so we're really keeping that up. And what did we lose to do this? We lost like a point of dex. We lost the debuff on poisoned enemies, so we're not debuffing like bosses and major enemies damage against our tank. Our own defenses are lower. We don't have improved defensive roll. We don't have like the extra move speed. We don't have the CC from sweeping strikes, which is actually really good. And we don't have the threat reduction from subtlety and sly flourish. But we hit way harder, right? We still maintained all of our sneak attack. We still maintained all of our double strike. And we just hit way harder. Especially if we can get the enemy helpless, we seriously hit harder. So I think you actually have a few options there for what to do with your build path. Oh, excuse me. I think if you have racial points, It gets way better. Like, I'm doing this with 4 racial points. If you have even just a few more, basically every racial point you get, you can maintain all this damage here, and either squeeze out a few more with getting, like, more strike through, or raging crush, or if you actually do get power attack to use against enemies where you don't need precision, even more damage. But otherwise, this just means every racial point is one that you don't have to spend here, that you can instead just go back in and get those other things I mentioned missing in either Thief, Acrobat, or Assassin. You can get your improved defensive roll, you can get your threat reduction down, you can grab some dex, grab that weakening and poison strike, get sweeping strikes if you want the crowd control attack. I've used it. It's actually really good. You can literally knock down a whole room off cooldown with no difficulty. The range is huge. This ability is actually good because it's a balance check. So it just works. You can get Staff Lunge. This ability can actually let you attack while functionally, like you phase through enemies. Yeah, you can tumble through enemies, but if you can't tumble for whatever reason, like you get hamstrung, Staff Lunge should still let you move through them, and even otherwise, this can give you just another option to sort of like dash through enemies, even if it's not a lot. It can give you some good movement, and it can also allow you to turn in midair a bit more than normal. Yeah, this is still an MMO, and you have that sort of video game air drift, but this can really push that a bit more if you need it for whatever reason. And you can get up to Vault to have an abundant step ability, which is always useful. There's plenty of cases where that can either just be generically helpful or actually let you like do a puzzle easier or something. So there's definitely useful things to get in both cases. And even if you didn't want to get anything else from either tree, the more racial points you have, you could just throw these into Vistani and pick up just like a few points of double strike. Like you get deflect arrows in the second core, double strike in the third core, and then you could just grab a bunch of stuff in Miststalker for some PRR, some MRR, and a few other just generic defensive goodies there, and call it a day, and that would still be useful. Also, as it turns out, you do not get quick draw from Thief Acrobat cores. So, as another side note for your feat option, from the one where we didn't know what we were doing with it and we ended up getting dodge, semi-seriously, semi-jokingly, you get quick draw if you wanted. That'd be useful. So I actually think we might give the half-orc a try. Again, we could do this as like a halfling, and we could squeeze out some more sneak attack, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think the half-orc route is a little bit more interesting, just because it sort of shakes up what it has a little bit. But just for shits and giggles, are you still awake, by the way?
Here.
Okay. Just for shits and giggles, we're going to end it off by swapping over to halfling and just seeing what things look like. Like if we lower that, we can get up to 13 strength, and so we can still get that. We can still get that. We can still get that. So you can still get the 200 fighting feats in all the same spots. We just have to put our stats like that. And then in our enhancements, saves, dex, sneak attack dice, bluff, extra accuracy while performing sneak attacks, sneak attack dice, requires half. Oh, dodge ring lighters. I guess I'll do that. Actually, 1 agility. Up to once per second when you were hit, you gain 1% dodge until you're missed. This effect can stack up to 5 times. I guess you could do that. And with those last 2 points, you probably want to like finish out the second strikes maybe. You could spend 1 point on sweeping strikes just to get it. Like this definitely works as halfling too. You can definitely like squeeze out a lot more sneak attack and get some more dex. So I think you can do this as half orc or halfling. You just have to be really mindful of what your starting strength is. Like in this case, we have roughly comparable stats as we did before as a half orc. 1 less strength, 2 more dex. Otherwise, it's basically the same, which is probably a little bit more overall useful. But we're not getting those extra action boosts, we are not getting that extra strike through, and we're not getting that extra helpless damage or that straight up weapon damage, but we are getting a few more points of dexterity and some more sneak attack dice when it comes to the damage side of things. And for defense, I guess we are getting a little bit more stuff with this acrobatic line. A few more bit of dodge, little bit more max dex bonus and max dodge bonus. It's not a ton, but hey, it's some stuff that's there. So I think that's going to close it off because this has been going on for an insanely long period of time, and none of what happened was what was supposed to happen. But hopefully this gives at least a little bit of insight into what really goes through my head, at least, whenever building my characters. I definitely like to take a peek at things, and even if I don't get an absolute guaranteed hard, this is exactly how I'm doing the build, I at least like to make sure that whatever I pick, even if I don't know exactly what it is, I know that of those options, I do make sure that I do have some that will be good, even if I'm not sure which of those good options I'm going with. Though in this case, obviously, picking the race isn't exactly something that changes very easily, but I do know that between Thief, Acrobat, and Assassin I can make it work, and I do know that I can build it as a half-orc or a halfling, and it's perfectly fine. I also already have my half-orc lives, so if I go halfling, I could work on my halfling lives, though I'm only going to be 2 out of 3 for rogue, so I could also just get my 3rd rogue life if I wanted. But either which way, I believe we're going to call it good there. I guess I appreciate everybody watching, whatever this monstrosity is. Next time, since we've already kind of sort of worked through showing how building it works, when I actually put the stats into DDO and actually make the character, we might do it really quick, where I go through it just so you kind of see what the screens look like, I guess. We also didn't look at skills. Skills are really easy. You probably just want balance generically. It's pretty useful for you. Just make sure you max bluff and your trapping skills, right? Get spot, get search, get disable device, get open lock, and then get bluff for improved feint because that ability actually cares about bluff. That's pretty much it. The rest of your skills don't really matter. Get whatever you want. If you are really going at it, you can grab Use Magic Device. That skill is objectively extremely useful, giving you access to things like Shield Wands and Resurrection Scrolls and stuff. It's not a bad skill at all. It's really good, just not my personal cup of tea. That is a personal choice. Objectively speaking, though, it is a good ability to get, and rogues are pretty good at it. It's a class skill for them, so they can definitely make good use of it. But otherwise, the only thing left to really show you on the actual DDO side of things for making the characters, just what the screens look like, which isn't super important, but I might show it to you guys later on at some point. Otherwise, I believe that's that. We've been here for way too long.
While.
We've been here for way too long, but we'll see you with probably either a half-orc or halfling stick rogue, I think, as I'm pretty sure Olorii has already made the bear and is probably sitting there, I imagine.
At the ready to create screen.
Oh, so you didn't actually make it.
I just wanted to be sure that I was playing it before I hit create.
Fair enough.
Should I hit create?
Yeah, if you want to, you can go ahead and do it. Because it
Done.
doesn't, because it doesn't really matter if I do half orc or halfling. Like it works either way. And regardless, I'll still have a shit ton of like sneak attack, so I still don't want aggro, and I'll still benefit from you making them helpless and keeping them off me and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
the only thing I want to cover though that I might not have earlier is if you're wondering why we don't get quick strike and killer, because they both give a great amount of double strike, right? Which is super useful. Giving us basically a percent chance for our melee attacks to deal double damage. It's because they're both a morale bonus. So because of the same type of bonus, they don't stack. So after hitting an enemy with quick strike, we gain a bonus to double strike for a certain amount of time. Versus killer, which after we kill a target, we gain a stack of additional double strike, which remains for a certain amount of time. But the advantage to quick strike is that we just kind of hit a guy, so we can open a fight with quick strike and then have that extra double strike the whole time. The advantage of killer is we can have that buff even if we miss. Like if we whiff on quick strike on the opening attack, then we just don't get the buff. The advantage of killer is that can't happen, we just have to kill them. But that means we don't have it at the start of a fight, we get it as the fight progresses and we kill some of the enemies, or if we can get to the next fight fast enough, we just don't really have it for the first fight, but maybe we can chain it and keep it up for the rest of them. If you die or something, you lose your killer. If you're waiting on a cutscene to play out, or maybe the boss doesn't have any ads to stack this up on and you're just kind of beating down the boss, quick strike is more useful there. Killer doesn't have a chance to stack up, stuff like that. Quick strike is also on demand. Killer can decay between fights if, I don't know, maybe your trapping skills aren't a snuff and you have to wait on another one, or you're waiting on a party member for whatever reason, or you're trying to do a puzzle and it takes a second. And also, if you want to split hairs, I don't actually know if this is still how it is, but Quick Strike says that it's giving 25%. Killer would stack at 20 because it's 5% per 4 stacks. 5 times 4 is 20. So assuming that the builder is right, which it very well might not be because I know a lot of the other things have been updated, and I know that Rapid Slash gives 20%, though it actually does say that on here, so whatever. But still, presuming Quick Strike actually does give 25%, it also gives 5% more than Killer. Sure, only really works with quarterstaves, and I don't think it's up 100% of the time. I think it's up like most of the time. I want to say the cooldown for Quick Strike is more like 15 seconds or something, but still. Even if you have like roughly 3 seconds of downtime where Killer could theoretically be up, I think you have way more time where Killer isn't up, even though it's really good, and otherwise I would recommend getting Killer. But we don't say need more points in Assassin to unlock the 5th core, but we can benefit from more points in Thief Acrobat to unlock other things, whether it be the capstone or just getting Sweeping Strike, Staff Lunge, Ant Slash, or Vault or something. And that downtime is pretty irrelevant on Quick Strike, as when it comes to most fights, you can probably end it before the buff for Quick Strike has run out. So the downtime, aside from a boss that just doesn't fucking die, and you have to sit there and beat his ass, in pretty much every other case, the downtime is pretty irrelevant. It will come up little to never. Versus Killer, which I think there's absolutely more opportunity for it to decay or just not have had a chance to stack. You also have to get kill shots with Killer. Quick Strike, you just have to hit someone. So if you are building a stick rogue properly, you have strike through, so you'd have to roll a 1 because we assume that you also hit on a 2 through a 20 because you also build enough accuracy to land all your attacks, or at least most of them. What are the odds that you whiff on every target? Right? Unless you're fighting only one enemy. And if you're fighting only one enemy, it's probably the boss, because if it's not the boss, it's one enemy, they're a chump. Kick their ass. And if it's more than one enemy, it's the boss. So killer is less applicable in that scenario, anyways. Um, but yeah, I think that's more or less it. There's definitely some good malleability. Um, Please get more racial points before you play this build, whether it be the half-orc or the halfling version, because that's literally free damage, whether it be on the weapon or on the sneak attack itself. It doesn't really matter. It's free damage, and it's really good. And you can squeeze out more things, more assassin debuff stuff, more thief acrobat defenses, um, reduced threat generation is a defense, by the way. Change my mind. But I think that's going to be it. Do you have anything else you want to say before we go? Aside from good night, I'm tired, and that took way too long?
I'm tired and that took way too long.
Well, you missed the good night part, so.
Damn it.
Almost. Almost.
It just didn't come through then because I'm mumbling. Good night, I'm tired, it took too long.
Apologies to literally everybody involved. It'll be better next time. But I did mention at the very beginning the first one was going to be scuffed as fuck because the first one's always the hardest because you have to go through like bloody everything. So that'll be it. Thank you all for watching. If you actually somehow did, you absolute mad lads. Hopefully you learned at least a little bit of something. Obviously we didn't get into every single little thing, but this should give at least some idea. So thank you, and we will catch y'all next time. Hopefully with actually bonking people in the back of the head with really big sticks. And speaking
And
softly,
pause.
because we're a rogue. Oh yeah, and if you actually go another advantage to the dex build versus the strength build, you can invest in hide and move silently if you actually feel like sneaking. Which, if I have the skill points for it, I probably will do because I'm a total loser and I actually like sneaking when I can. Okay, bye.